Hey, welcome to Tough Guys. On this video, we're gonna do a quick little project, and the kids wanted to help me with this one. So we've got Indiana and Memphis here to help, and it's gonna be pretty simple and fun, hopefully. We're just gonna refinish some salt shakers that we picked up at an estate sale here in town. So let me show you what they are. All right, here's the salt shakers that we picked up. They're just kind of beaten up and old. Looks like they'll come apart relatively easy. So we're gonna take a look at those and start taking them apart. And we've got some colors picked out for these things. And we'll go over how we do that as well. Let's see here. You guys wanna show them the colors that we picked out?
So this one's blue and this one's just like white.
Yeah, well this is a clear coat. So clear coat, and then this is the color the kids picked out. This kind of seafoam color. What do you think about that one, Indy? Yeah?
This one's the pepper.
Yep.
And then this one's the salt. Yeah, this is my friend.
All right, so salt and pepper, and we've got an 11-way just by Klein Tools. Just it's got a bunch of different. It comes in and out. You've got all your different tips on there, and I think this little the number 1 screwdriver on this one should be small enough to take this apart. Because down here on the bottom of this, we've got a couple of screws there to take this thing apart, which I don't even know if we're gonna need to do that, but I might. The salt though is super easy. The top piece just unscrews, and then that's where you would put the salt down inside of there. So we definitely want to clean up around this edge really good, and we've already emptied them out. So, and then you can see up inside of there where it's already got the holes for the salt to come out. And then on this one, it looks like I noticed here we've got a screw. So take that off, and then this piece comes off of there, and you can see the lock. And then this piece just kind of stays in there. So we may just leave this whole thing together, although maybe I'll take it apart just to see how it's working. You can see when you spin this, that part right there spins on the inside. So that's where we're at with that. So the next step is we'll get some sandpaper out, and we'll start sanding this thing down.
Show us.
So we got some sandpaper. You want to show them? So this is 120 grit. You want to show them how it looks? Hold it up like this. So that's 120. We got little pieces.
Yeah.
And we got some 150. You want to show them? 150. And we're just gonna sand these down a little bit so that way when we paint them, that the paint will stick, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So look, you work on this one.
Okay.
So just take this and just rub it on there.
Okay.
You gonna do it? Just like that.
I'm rubbing it like this.
That's right.
I rub it around so all of it can get.
See? We don't need to do all of it off. We just want to rough it up enough and
It's
create a new
rough
paint.
it up.
That's
It's
right.
No, it's too much.
No, it's okay.
Too much.
So do a little bit. Take your time. Don't go too fast. Just a little bit at a time. All right. Sissy, you want to work on this one a little bit?
Yeah.
So work on this part down here at the bottom.
Okay.
There you go. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just take the piece of this here. I'm just gonna kind of roll it around. I'm gonna work my way up and down and just try to get this thing as well as I can before we give it a paint coat. I am not concerned about making this completely smooth. I just want to rough it up enough, and then we'll come back over with the 150, which will make it really smooth. So let us get done with some of these, and then we'll come back. What are you thinking, sis?
I think I can say something.
Yeah.
Well, this is Tough Guys video, and we have to do these things because we're kind of old and we want to make them new.
That's right.
So that's why we're going to show you how to make things new on here. So I bet you like it.
is ready. So these are all sanded down as far as we're going to go because we're just repainting. And we got a nice smooth feel on these guys. And I think we got the tops well enough. And maybe with this little metal cap, maybe we'll paint it gold or something to give it a little bit more character. So we're going to get everything prepped right now for paint, and then we'll come back and show you before we get that going. All right, so our set this up outside of the shop. Pardon all the leaves. It's fall, so everything is fallen. Here's our Rust-oleum. This is that 2 times coverage. I think the color, actually don't know what the color, Seaside is the color that we're going to use. Seaside, and it's gloss. And then these little things are helpful. If you guys have never seen one of these, we normally pick them up at the hardware store, I think from Home Depot. And it's just an attachment that goes on top of this thing. Kind of show you guys how that, it's got to be a top that has one of these. It may work with the other style, I actually don't know. But this thing just goes on there like that. And it basically, I don't know if you can see that, bad lighting outside here today. That thing presses down when you pull the trigger, and it just gives you a much easier ability to hold the can. So on this one, I've got it prepped to where I left that up just a little bit so I get the paint inside that little lip right there. And then on the pepper, I just taped down inside of there and then taped the spring, and I kept the top off of this guy here. So it's by itself, and we can paint it as we need to as well. All right, so the paint shook up a little bit. Do some tests, see that it's coming out really good. And then, all right, come this way. Now that we're starting to apply the paint, it's really important to keep the coating very smooth, so you want to use quick, short, back and forth motions. That adapter that we're using with the handle really helps this process. Especially when you're using something like gloss paint, I've always found that it's way easier when using that handle to get a really smooth and even coat. Here I'm just trying to make sure I'm having enough room to not overspray back onto what I've already started with. Another thing is to keep everything clean as you're doing this, and obviously having helpers like I have, it's a little bit harder to maintain that clean work environment. But use tape when you can, tape off things you want to protect, and definitely make sure you take your time and don't rush with paint. Get a good coat, and if you're going to be applying a clear coat, make sure that your base coats are well and dry before you start applying the clear coat over the top. So that's all my advice for this. Enjoy the rest. All right, so we got these things with one coat, and you see it turned out pretty good for the first coat, and we still want to definitely do a clear coat on these to just keep it up, so it stays a little bit longer. And there may be a couple spots, here where I need to touch up again with the turquoise. So after this dries and we get another coat, we'll do the clear coat on them. But I'm pretty happy so far. I think it looks pretty cool. And this little silver cap here, I think we're going to paint them gold. Give it a cool little accent to go with these colors that we've got here happening. So let's keep this show moving. And for that gold cap, we've just got some metallic gold spray paint from Ace, just mirrored gold. More of a traditional push top on this one. So just going to get it sprayed. I did sand it with 150 grit inside. You see this paint actually works really well and it works really fast. So we'll let that dry as well. And you get a little closer on that gold piece. Spray paint's pretty good. Yeah, Rust-oleum is probably preferred, but you know, this thing actually is, it works really well. We painted a bunch of stuff with it already, and I'm pretty happy with that. All right, at this phase, we're just getting things wrapped up with the paint, the first part of the paint. We gotta let this dry so we can do the clear coat. Clear coat, we've got the Rust-oleum crystal clear enamel. Nothing special there, just standard clear coat. We're gonna put on these. They're gonna get wear and tear from people twisting on them, you know, using them, you know, yeah, especially the one that twists. You know, the salt probably not as much, but you know, if you are taking the top off and on, I want that to have a clear coat just to keep the color last longer. So we're gonna let these dry, and then we'll come back and revisit once we're doing the clear coat. So now you gotta keep busy while the paint's drying, right? So now we just practice our hammering. Welcome to Tough Guy's video. We're going to be hammering screws.
And we're going to be careful. We might hurt ourselves. So what we want to do, we want to be careful. Now it's just kids. We want to show you how we hammer if we get hurt. Because we are just 3 years old or 6 years old. So we got to do this, okay?
Alright, we are ready for the clear coat. So take that thing off, back together, and again, the Rust-oleum crystal clear coat. Same kind of situation, you want to shake it up really, really well. Really, really well. And again, this thing just pops on there. So once that pops on, it's good to go. Alright, now that we're applying the clear coat, the same thing applies. You want to take your time, smooth motions, and that added on handle for the spray cans really does help with this phase as well. As you can see, I just try to get an even coat around the outside, and you want to watch for drips and for, you know, just putting too much in general. Remember, you can do multiple coats of this as well. Now with that clear coat, let's let this dry for a bit. I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out so far. I hope once it dries in really good, we've got some really solid functionality out of these things. I think we paid like $1. So it's pretty cool. We've been wanting some wood ones, and we wanted to have some that we could refinish. I'm really happy with that color overall. They do look really nice, and you know, like I said, overall this is a pretty easy project to do. A little bit of sanding, a little bit of paint. Let's come back and take a look once these things are dry. We've got these things inside, and in the kitchen, I feel like they look even better than outside. Worked out really well. We're very happy with the finished product so far. Everything works okay. Everything spins and works like it should, and we're just overall really, really happy with how they turned out. Alright, so we're getting this video wrapped up. Hope you guys enjoyed this process. It wasn't super hard, it was actually really fun, and if you have kids, it's something they can definitely help you with. So if you like stuff like this, let us know in the comments. We can do more small projects, and we certainly enjoy doing it for you guys. So again, thanks for watching. If you have any feedback for us, leave a comment. Like the video if you liked watching it. If you hated us, that dislike button, that's the one you'd want to use. And subscribe and let us know how we're doing, and we look forward to seeing you in the next project.